Question 21 says a particle moving with uniform retardation covers 20 meters and 18 meters in successive first second and second second. It comes to rest after traveling a further distance of. The student, the question or the concept that we have to use here is that the distance traveled in 1 second is equal to u plus half a 2n minus 1. We use the initial speed and a is the acceleration. In the first second, the distance is given to be equal to 20, so that will be equal to u plus half a 2 into 1 minus 1. This gives us that u plus a by 2 is equal to 20. In the second, the distance is given as 80, so this will be equal to u plus half a 2 into 2 minus 1. This will be equal to u plus 3a by 2. On solving these two equations, we get u to be equal to 21 meter per second and a to be equal to minus 2 meter per second square. Now, let us first find out the time taken by the particle to come to rest. Dear student, the time taken by the particle to come to rest can be calculated by using the equation that v, that is 0, is equal to u plus at. We have written the final speed to be equal to 0. So t will be equal to minus u by a, that is minus 21 by minus 2, that is 21 by 2 seconds. Now, after 2 seconds, that is the first second and second second, the further remaining time will be 21 by 2 minus 2 seconds, and we have to find out the distance traveled in this much time. The distance traveled can be easily written as half into a, that is acceleration, into t square, that is 21 by 2 minus 2 square, and this distance will be equal to 289 by 4 meter, meaning that the correct answer for this question is option number 1. Moving on to question number 22. Question 22 says a body is thrown up with a velocity of 40 meter per second. So there is a body which is thrown up with a velocity of 40 meter per second. And at the same time a body is dropped from a certain height and the height is 40 meters. This one we must acknowledge that for both these particles the acceleration due to gravity will be equal, that is g. So the relative acceleration will be 0. We have to find out the relative velocity after 1 second. The relative velocity will be equal to the initial relative velocity always, as the relative acceleration is 0, and the initial relative velocity is equal to 40 meter per second, meaning that the answer for this question is option number 3. Now let us solve the question number 23. Question 23 says the magnitude of resultant of two forces cannot be greater than. Dear student, the resultant of any two forces will be less than or equal to the addition of the magnitude of the forces and greater than or equal to the subtraction of the magnitude of the two forces. And hence, we can write down that the resultant cannot be greater than the algebraic sum of the magnitude of two forces, meaning that the question has a correct answer in option number 2. Now let us move to the question number 24. In question 24, the centripetal acceleration is a constant vector, a constant scalar, a magnitude changing vector, a direction changing vector having constant magnitude. Dear student, we have drawn a circle. The centripetal acceleration is an acceleration which is always directed towards the center. So when the particle is at here, the acceleration will be towards the center. When the particle is at here, the centripetal acceleration will be again towards the center. When the particle is at here, the centripetal acceleration will be again towards the center. We can clearly see that the direction of the centripetal acceleration is continuously changing. The magnitude, however, can remain same depending whether the circular motion is uniform or not. And hence, the best possible answer for this question lies in the fourth option, that it is a direction changing vector having a constant magnitude. With the hope that you have understood this question, let us move to the question number 25. In this question, a vector 4i cap plus 3j cap rotates about its tail through an angle 74 degrees in the clockwise direction, then the new vector is. The student, let this be the x-axis and this be the y-axis. The vector 4i cap plus 3j cap will be somewhat like this. That is, the component in x direction is 4 and the component y direction is 3. This particular angle theta is equal to 37 degrees. Now we have to rotate this vector by 74 degrees in the clockwise direction, which means that the vector will come down and this angle will become 37 degrees again. We can clearly analyze that the ith component remains same while the j component becomes negative of the previous value. and hence the final vector becomes 4 I cap minus 3 j cap, making option number 2 for this question as the correct answer. Moving on to the next question.